Hi, this is Dr. Luke with a brief intro about reading research. If we were doing this face to face, I would check for prior knowledge. For example, who's read articles before, who's participated in a study, who's done research, etc. Why would I do that? Yes, I would be checking to see what kind of knowledge the students already had. So for example, if everyone had already read a peer-reviewed article multiple times, I would change my presentation. However, since we don't know this, we're going to go ahead and carry on. Many people can benefit from research. Young families, individuals with an illness, animals, just about everyone can benefit. Research is a systematic, logical, and in-depth inquiry into a topic. It's the collection of data, may cost an exorbitant amount of money. You know, clinical trials are very, very expensive. They can be time-consuming or labor-intensive, and they're held to certain standards. That is, they must be approved through a governing board. CSUMB has such a board. Most universities do. So you're going to be reading the assigned article, and I'm including this information for two reasons. The first reason is because we want to ensure that the practices we're using in the classroom are research supported. And to do that, we have to know how to read research and to know what is good research, what is quality research. Also, if there are any of you who are interested in doing research or are currently doing research and continuing on to a master's degree, this information may be helpful. It should be noted that research articles are typically well written in academic language, not used for pleasure reading. That is, most of them are quite dry. There are different types of research, and depending on who you talk to, some will say that some type of research is better than others. I think different types of research have different merits. It all depends on your purpose. However, for the purpose of research-supported theories, that is, strategies and interventions you should use in the classroom, it is best to stick to experimental research. Experimental research indicates that a variable was manipulated. Something was changed. Non-experimental research does not include a manipulated variable. Quantitative will be referred to as group stats, and single case design happens to be one of my favorite. Many people hear single case design and they have the wrong impression. They're actually thinking of a case study. Single case design is an experimental design, and the participants serve as their own control. This design is often used in special education or any area that has a low incidence population. That is, there's not that many people. Case studies look at a particular situation and are usually qualitative. That is, most of it is observation. It would be considered non-experimental. Here are some terms that will help you in understanding research. Evidence-based practice is just that. As I mentioned, it is a practice that is supported by evidence or data. And it takes multiple studies before a practice becomes supported by evidence. So you think of it like this. If one dog hair represents a study, you need many hairs, like the whole dog, for something to be considered research supported. Your peer-reviewed articles and research is a journal that was reviewed by peers. That is, individuals with the same background, likely the same level of education, and they review that article or study. For example, Remedial and Special Education is a peer-reviewed journal. Educator Magazine is not, but it does give opportunities to teachers in the field to share their experiences. Flagship articles are founding or important articles in a particular field. Some of them were written before you were born. Well, actually, some of them were written before I was born. Articles and research studies are written in a way that they should be easily replicated, so that if you wanted to do a study like that one, you could do it because the information is easily accessible. Additionally, when you read about a strategy or an intervention that is evidence-based or supported by research, it's a strategy that has been replicated in many different studies. As I mentioned, it requires many dog hairs for something to be considered evidence-based. Again, dog hairs representing one study. To find quality articles, you can look in the library's database and search by journal, topic, or author. These items are not considered research. Editorials, commentaries, critiques of articles, meta-analysis, and theoretical articles. Parts of an article. Listed on the slide are the basic parts of an article. There are rules and guidelines about writing in each of these sections, and those are outlined according to the type of formatting your field ascribes to. In education, we happen to use APA. So approaching an article or a topic will largely depend on your familiarity with the research in that area and the type of statistical analysis that was used. For example, I'm well versed in the research for students with learning disabilities and math manipulatives in a group research design, and have a particular order I go in. If it's a topic that's new to me, for example, a particular reading strategy for individuals with Williams syndrome, then I go in a different order. The abstract I will look at just to see if I want to do further reading. The introduction in the lit review is anything or what has been said about the topic before. That is, what studies have gone before the article that you're writing or the article that you're reading. It usually will include either the research question or the hypothesis. The method or design includes the population, that is, who is being studied, measures, what tests, what checklists, anything like that. The type of design, is it an experimental design, is it single case, is it a multi-element, anything like that. And then the procedure. Now again, I mentioned it should be written in a way that you can replicate it. The results and findings are just that, what was found in the research, and then the conclusion. What can we conclude from these findings? And then there are references. And I put APA because, again, in education, that is what we use. Now, even if an article exists, it is possible that there is a methodological flaw or a gap. Authors often put limitations to their studies, and that's how more studies are created. When reading an article, you can take notes. Write these notes in your own words in case you're asked to summarize the research. If you use too much of the language from the article, you not only run the risk of plagiarizing, well, how the Western world defines plagiarizing, it also probably means you don't understand the article very well if you're having to use a lot of their wording. And allow yourself plenty of time. Scan it, the article, and then read. And as I said, you may take notes. I often make a table. And I already mentioned that when you're summarizing, use your own words. All right, that is a brief intro to reading research, and the article that I have picked for you to read actually is a math study, and it's what I based my dissertation on. I found a little gap. For example, the article is going to talk about students using manipulatives, and I found a little gap, and then that's what I based my study from. All right, thank you.